There is a unique comfort, a quiet intimacy, in pulling on a piece of clothing that has surrendered its newness to the shape of your life. It might be the perfectly frayed collar of a beloved t-shirt, its cotton softened by 100 wash cycles. It could be an old, pilling sweater whose warmth feels like a familiar hug, or a pair of jeans that has molded so perfectly to your form that it feels less like fabric and more like a second skin. These garments are more than just textiles. They are archives of memories, silent companions through lazy Sundays, difficult days, and celebratory nights. They are a tangible piece of our past we can literally wrap ourselves in. We cherish these garments for their history and the effortless comfort they provide. But have we ever paused to ask what else they have carried with them on their journey? What secrets are woven into those aging fibers between the fading colors and the softening threads? We assume that with time and wear, our clothes become purer, shedding the stiffness of the factory for the softness of home. The unsettling truth, however, is far more complex. This journey is not one of purification but of accumulation. Prepare to unravel the story of your wardrobe, a story that suggests the very things we hold closest to our skin might be holding onto something far more sinister. The toxic journey of our clothing doesn't begin when it gets old. It begins at its birth, in a global supply chain that is a veritable cauldron of industrial chemistry. To transform a raw fiber like cotton or a petroleum byproduct into the vibrant, functional garment hanging in a store, it must pass through dozens of chemical processes. The dazzling colors we're drawn to are often the first layer of concern. Many inexpensive, brightly colored clothes are treated with azo dyes. While stable on the fabric, under certain conditions like contact with sweat and skin bacteria, these dyes can break down and release chemicals known as aromatic amines, a class that includes known human carcinogens. Heavy metals like lead, chromium, and cadmium are also used as fixatives or pigments to achieve certain brilliant hues, creating a potential pathway for neurotoxins to leach onto our skin. But the dyes are often just the prelude. To give our clothes the magical properties demanded by modern convenience, they undergo a final baptism of finishing chemicals. That crisp, wrinkle-free dress shirt? It's likely been treated with a resin that releases formaldehyde. This is the same chemical used for embalming, a known human carcinogen and a potent skin and respiratory irritant locked into the fibers to keep them from creasing. The water-repellent jacket or stain-resistant pants? They are almost certainly coated with PFCs, perfluorinated compounds, the infamous forever chemicals. These compounds are incredibly effective at repelling oil and water, but they are also powerful endocrine disruptors, interfering with our body's delicate hormonal systems. Even your anti-odor athletic wear has a secret. It's often infused with antimicrobial agents like triclosan, a chemical that has been linked to the terrifying rise of antibiotic-resistant bacteria and disruptions to thyroid function. So, the new garment we bring home is not a blank slate. It is a wearable chemical product, carrying a legacy of its creation. And these substances are not designed to simply wash out. They are engineered for permanence, to bond with the fibers. They become an integral part of the garment itself, a built-in payload waiting for the right conditions to be released. Beyond the chemical finishes applied to the fabric, the very substance of the fabric itself has become a source of insidious pollution. This is especially true for the vast majority of modern clothing made from synthetic materials. Your fleece jacket, your yoga pants, your sleek polyester blouseway, think of them as fabric, but it is more accurate to think of them as wearable plastic. Polyester, nylon, acrylic, and spandex are all forms of plastic, polymers spun into fine threads. We now clothe ourselves, our children, and our world in plastic. This fact carries a profound and microscopic consequence. Every time we wear, stretch, and move in these synthetic garments, and most significantly, every time we wash them, they shed. Not just a loose thread here or there, but a constant, invisible blizzard of microscopic plastic fibers. A single load of laundry containing synthetic clothing can release hundreds of thousands, sometimes millions of these microplastic fibers into the water system. This has created a global environmental catastrophe, as these non-biodegradable particles now choke our oceans, contaminate our soil, and have infiltrated every level of the food chain, from plankton to the fish on our dinner plates. But the environmental path is only one part of the story. The other path leads directly into our bodies. As these garments age, the fibers become more brittle and break away more easily. They become a primary component of household dust, floating in the air of our homes. We are breathing in our clothes. Recent, groundbreaking studies have confirmed the alarming result of this exposure. Scientists have now found microplastics lodged deep within human lung tissue, circulating in our bloodstream, and have even detected them in the placentas of newborn babies. While the full long-term health implications of having microscopic pieces of plastic migrating through our vital organs are still being urgently investigated, the premise itself is the stuff of science fiction horror. The comfortable, durable, and affordable plastics we chose to wear are now breaking down and becoming a literal part of us, a betrayal enacted on a cellular level. Finally, there is the quiet transformation that happens over years of wear and washing. This is how an old, cherished garment develops a unique and potentially more dangerous profile than a new one. It's not just about what the clothing releases, but what it accumulates. The intricate woven network of fibers that makes up a piece of clothing presents an enormous surface area. As the garment ages, as these fibers soften and fray, they become an even more effective sponge for the world around them. Think of the lingering smell of smoke on a jacket after a night out. That scent is the ghost of a chemical reality. It's a physical residue of hundreds of toxic chemicals: nicotine, tar, arsenic, formaldehyde, that have physically bonded with the fabric and will continue to off-gas long after the visible smoke is gone. This is third-hand smoke, and your clothes are its primary carrier. Now, expand that concept to every environment you inhabit. Every walk down a busy city street is an opportunity for your coat to filter and trap volatile organic compounds, VOCs, and particulate matter from car exhaust. Sitting in a freshly painted room or a new car allows your clothes to soak up chemical fumes. And then there is the very act we believe is meant to purify them: washing. Over time, chemical-laden fabric softeners and scented detergents don't simply rinse away. They are designed to leave behind a residue, which is what makes clothes feel soft and smell fresh. This waxy, fragrant film, which builds up with every cycle, is often a carrier for phthalates and other synthetic musks that can disrupt the endocrine system. This is where the true danger lies, not in a single chemical, but in the unknown and unknowable cocktail effect. The original formaldehyde from the factory now mingles with the third-hand smoke from a cafe, the pesticides tracked in from a park, and the phthalates from decades of laundry. Over the years, your favorite, most comfortable piece of clothing has been transformed. It's no longer just a sweater. It's a personalized chemical armor, a wearable archive of every polluted environment it has passed through. And it's an armor you wear with the shield facing inward, pressing its toxic legacy directly against your body's largest organ, your skin.